All right, cool. Let's move on now to our surprise packages of the year. The rappers that surprised us the most this year, as far as maybe their output or their lyrical offering. This should be an interesting one. I'll go first because I got a few. I've got K Trap. I've got M Honcho, Meeks Manny, Shay Noir, and
Shane who?
Shay Noir.
She's fire.
Sir.
Yeah.
And Peter, brace yourself. Rock Marciano.
Hey.
So K Trap, I think K Trap has a strong case for MVP of the UK rap this year, because not only did he drop his joint tape with Blade Brown, which was very enjoyable, he also dropped The Last Whip 2, which had a few bangers on there. There's like one song with Krypton Conan where Krypton Conan went off. Krypton Conan, they deserve like an honorable mention for like favorite verse of the year for me as well. And he was just everywhere. He did the Warm remix with Skepta, and that was a big moment. Like you watch the video and like the whole scene is in that video. Like not on a Stormzy thing, but kind of more on a more Grease thing. So K-Trap did his thing, and I think lyrically he's improved. Like he's always been like that kind of, he's always done that drill content, but stepping out into more of like Blade Brown's world, where it's more of like the UK rap trap sort of thing, he floated on that, and he's still able to do the drill stuff as well. So I really enjoyed his output this year. So such K-Trap. M Honcho has probably got the album of the year for me that surprised me the most. Chasing Euphoria from front to back, even though it's like maybe like an hour and 10 minutes, is a very enjoyable album. It's very like, it's got so much variety. It's got so many dope guest verse. He himself, in terms of like the subject matter, he's really like going into his like identity and his background and stuff. And I really enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed it. Shout out to Emmanuel who put me onto it. Like very enjoyable. So like, been back to it a couple times, and yeah, man. I mean, even though I had my reservations at first because I thought like the kind of like melodic thing that he was doing wasn't the best. He proved me wrong to this year, man. So shout out to him. Meeks, I first heard Meeks on Dave's In the Fire, and he had a great verse, and he dropped the tape this year, and it was really good. He got another great verse from Dave. He got some good stuff from Central C, but he's kind of like one of those. He would have fit very perfectly in like that first/second generation of road rap. Like he's very much that aesthetic, but he can also do drill. He can do the kind of road rap as well. Like lyrically, he was like really dope this year. He's got a lot of clarity. He sounds hungry, whatever verse he's rapping. So yeah, I had to salute Meeks as well. Shay Noir, that was her album this year. Food for Thought was the first time I'd heard her, and dope. Like I would file her underneath like Ransom and Rock Marcy and that kind of crowd.
Yeah, she raps a lot with Ransom and 38 Special.
Yes, and she makes her own beats as well, and it's kind of that world as well. So as a double threat, yeah, man, she
got an album with Apollo Brown that I think you'll like.
Yes, she dropped it last year. Yeah. I think as God Intended. Something like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, dope lyricist, dope producer. Looking forward to hearing more from her as well. And Rock Marcy. I mean, story time, people. Probably since as long as I've known this brother called Peter, he's been trying to put me onto Rock Marciano, and for one reason or another, I've just never got around to it. Maybe just because I had defiance, because like
pride is the devil.
Yeah, I'm saying like, but Rock Marcy came to play this year. The album with Alchemist is fantastic. Daddy Kane is one of my favorite tracks of the year. Quantum Leap.
Liquid Coke,
Quantum Leap, fantastic stuff there. And I've always said, when it comes to lyricism, it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it. And I think Rock Marcy is a master of taking things that people have already said and putting his own spin on it. And he did that amazingly this year. So I got a shout out Rock Marcy. Like, pride to the side. Shout out Rock Marcy for that one there. So that's me.
I accept on his behalf.
Please do.
Shall I go next?
You're gone.
Because you're Pimpire, don't you? Aren't you?
Yeah, I'm part of the crew in that.
Yeah.
So I've got 3. One, I owe you apology, but we'll get to that later. So I've got Cole G Radical. The only reason why I say it's a surprise is because I wasn't accustomed to his music. So imagine never listening to someone and them having one of your 5 best albums of the year. The surprise factor is going to be ridiculous. And I've got him and JID. JID is the exact same reason. These are just rappers I never used to take in. And for me to take in both of their albums, for it to be top 5 easy with a bullet, that's the reason why I'm surprised. The third one, I'd sincerely owe you an apology, because I've got Benny.
Okay.
And the reason I have Benny is because same reason. All of the top 3 of my surprising people, they didn't surprise me in the essence that I've heard them before. I knew they could rap, and then I took it in for whatever. It was just a case where I've never taken in the project. Benny, I always knew Benny could rap. Koji and JID's surprised me on a different aspect because of their body of work. I knew Benny could rap. Respectfully, you want to listen to a rap rapper? Depending. Depending. So, shout out to Mace. So then I went. So yeah, I thought, fuck it, let me give Benny a try. And I'll be honest with you, it was phenomenal, man. From the 10 More Commandments to Tana Talk 4, it gave me everything I wanted, bruv. It's the street shit I like. It's the bars, the way he says it. My prototype rapper is Benny. Everything I like about my rappers is Benny the Butcher. And I remember you told me that for a long time. So the only reason why it's surprising is because it's taken me so long for me to listen to him. So
Bro, you got to go back. You got to listen to Tana Talk 3. You got to listen to the.
I'm doing my
joint with,
research.
Hit Boy.
I'm doing my research. I'm doing my
Yeah,
research.
you
I
need
mean,
to,
we
bro.
thank God.
Support
We
him.
thank God.
Plugs
You
I
say-
met.
what did you add-
Plugs I met 1 and 2.
What was the last
You
thing
got
you
on with
said?
Hit Boy.
No, I thought you said I support you. I thought you said something mad cheeky afterwards.
No, I do support you.
Oh yeah, no. I've heard the I think it's with Henry Ford. He's got a couple.
Plugs I met 2.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard a couple of them tapes. I heard 2 of them tapes actually. I think he's got 2.
He's got Plugs I met 1 and 2.
Yeah, so I've listened to both. But yeah, I fuck with Benny a lot now. So I apologize, Peter,
It's cool, man.
for all the days I shunned you.
Sorry, man.
Shunned.
What's your list saying?
I've only got one.
Here we
Rome
go.
Streets. I hadn't really listened to much of him prior to this year. In fact, probably last year where he dropped an album with Ransom. That was the first time I'd heard of him. And I was like, okay, it's cool. This guy's all right. And then he signed to Griselda. So then, it kind of piqued my interest even more so. Then he dropped an album called Kiss the Ring. And Westside Gun was the executive producer. And that shit was fire. I was like, who is this brother? He was just nice. He had like wonderful production. Lyrically, he was on point as well. So I was like, okay, cool. This guy's dope. So it kind of shocked me because I didn't really have much expectations for him. So it's probably been my only surprise of the year, really.
Yeah, Rome Streets is one of those guys that he's kind of been floating around for years. And I guess it's clicked this year for a wider audience because I've kind of seen him everywhere in a sense of like whenever I go on Twitter, like someone's talking about Rome Streets. He's in a lot of, I think he was in Rolling Stone's top 5 hip hop albums of the year.
For Kiss the Ring.
For Kiss the Ring, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
You heard it?
I haven't heard it yet, no. So yeah,
no.
it's on the
Maybe.
list. It's on the list.
I'll go
But
for it.
yeah, man, shout out to Rome Streets.